Lesson 20. Organs of the United Nations. The United Nations system is based on 5 principal organs, formerly 6. The Trusteeship Council is now obsolete. The General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Secretariat, and the International Court of Justice. Structure of the UN. The structure of the UN remains the same as it was in 1945. It has 6 different organs or bodies that have different functions. These are 1. The General Assembly, 2. The Security Council, 3. The Secretariat, 4. The Economic and Social Council, 5. The International Court of Justice, 6. The Trusteeship Council. Organs of the United Nations. The working of the United Nations is carried out by its different organs. The main organs of the United Nations are discussed below. The General Assembly. The General Assembly is the largest body of the UN. The member countries form the General Assembly. It meets once in a year and discusses various issues. The members give suggestions for solving the problems. It is like an international parliament. Over a 2-week period at the start of each session, all members have opportunity to address the assembly. Each member country has 1 vote. The routine matters are divided by the members with a simple majority vote. The important decisions require a 2/3 majority. Normally, the General Assembly meets once every year in the 3rd week of September to discuss important international problems and issues. The Assembly seeks to resolve mutual conflicts of nations by peaceful means. It deals with problems like poverty, increasing population, social inequality, and illiteracy, and suggests ways to solve them. Security Council. The Security Council is the most important organ of the United Nations. It has the basic responsibility for the maintenance of peace and security. The Security Council has a total of 15 members. 5 of them are permanent and other 10 are elected every 2 years. 5 countries are permanent members. 1. The United States of America, 2. The United Kingdom, 3. Russia, 4. France, 5. China. It tries to help the countries to settle their disputes in a peaceful manner and prevent war. When a country attacks on another country, the UN sends a peacekeeping force to put down the attack. The Security Council also listens to the complaints of member nations and tries to secure a ceasefire. Though each member of the Security Council has only 1 vote, yet to pass any motion, all the permanent members must say yes. The 10 non-permanent members of the Security Council do not have the veto power. Economic and Social Council. The Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, works for the welfare of children and women. It has 54 members, all of whom are elected by the General Assembly for a 3-year term. It tries to solve the economic, social, and health problems. It works through commissions and committees. It helps those people, groups, and societies which are facing difficult problems. ECOSOC coordinates with specific agencies that provide social, economic, and related services. Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council is the least important UN organ. Its role is to look after colonies by making sure that they are treated properly and fairly and may become independent, self-governing nations. However, since no longer exist and there are no colonies left, there is not much left for this organ. The Trusteeship Council ceased operations in 1994. Nevertheless, It has not been dismissed. Food and Agricultural Organization (FAO). It helps its members nations to use modern scientific methods of farming. It supplies food to those countries which suffer from food shortage. Its headquarters is at Rome, Italy. International Labour Organization (ILO). Its main function is to improve the condition of laborers all over the world. It advises the member nations to fix working hours for the workers. It also tries to check the exploitation of workers by the factory owners. It is making efforts to check child labor in the world. Its headquarters is at Geneva. Achievements and work of the UN. The UN and its agencies are active in almost every country of the world, paying most attention to the poorer, less developed nations and to the areas of the world affected by war, civil strife, drought, or famine. The UN can offer its own technical assistance and advice, but relies on the support of member nations to provide the necessary funds, personnel, and in case of war and army troops. Humanitarian aid. The UN plays an important role in providing humanitarian aid to people in distress. The UN High Commissioner for Refugee based in Geneva, Switzerland, provides food and shelter for refugees fleeing war, famine or drought, while other UN agencies work to improve water supplies or local health and education provision. Peacekeeping. The UN tries to keep the peace between warring nations or sides in civil war. The famous blue berets of the UN troops have been in operation in most of the world's troubled spots, including the Middle East and former Yugoslavia. At the start of this century, UN peacekeeping missions operated in 15 nations, deploying 47,000 troops. Environmental role. The UN has taken a major role in environmental issues as concern rises about threats to the world ecology. In 1992, it convened a major conference in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on the environment and development. The conference, known as the Earth Summit, committed world nations to reduce pollution in order to prevent global warming. Summary. The General Assembly is the largest body of the UN. The Security Council looks after the peace and security in the world. The Economic and Social Council works for the welfare of children and women. The Secretariat is the executive branch of the UN. Its head is known as the Secretary General. United Nations has set up several agencies. These are UNICEF, WHO, UNESCO, FAO, ILO, and others. B.